let's talk about gold. Gold all-time highs. Not really too surprising, being that it's a hedge when people are nervous about what's going on in the world, and especially since the decline of the dollar. We'll talk about that with our guests. But are we seeing a legitimate long-term breakout for gold, or is just a temporary hub while
No.
people figure things out?
If we look back, a lot of these positions start to be built around 2019 when a lot of investors knew something was going to come in the market, and it's been steadily rising ever since then. But if you go back even further, even back to the 01, 02 climate or stock market kerfuffle that we had at the time, a lot of the gold bugs at the time were saying this is the best way to hedge, and that's been over 20 something years. I don't know about the reports of gold going to 9,000 and all that over 3 or 4 years. I think that's a little bit misleading, but I think we have been in a long-term bull run for gold, and I think it's going to continue, especially with all the uncertainty that there is in the market. I know we talk a lot about hyper concentration and whether it's good or not to put money into like a singular stock, but on a commodity side, if you're holding for long term to offset, this is like the one part of the all-weather portfolio that Ray Dalio talks about that I absolutely do agree with. So if you could get a chance to get in maybe at 31.15, if you haven't built a position yet, that's a good place to maybe start. But I would definitely look to hold this for 5, 6 or 7 years while we have a bunch of turmoil. And during that 07, 08 run, gold did incredibly well as well, for those of you who are worried about a recession.
Gold, for those who they're going to be like, how do I invest in gold? Gold ETFs?
Or you can go to Johnny Dang. Leonte this summer, I mean.
Gotta call some people.
Hey, what's y'all got? I'm gonna call y'all guy real quick. Gold bullion bars. And I'm gonna give me a safe from China to put it in. So, but yeah, GOD is a good option, but and for my traders, the gold future for short term trades are good as well.
Yeah.
Oh man,
gold.
I know a dude named Johnny Dang.
It's done better than Bitcoin and the S&P 500.
Yes, it has. Yes, it has.
Financial conspirator. Hey, shout out to my guy.
Yes, it has.
Yeah, it's done incredibly well over long term. In 2005, it was at $41. It's now at $314, and been a safe haven. Homework assignment: what is the average yearly drawdown of gold? Going back to taking the risk off the table. That's the most important thing in relationships, business relationships, investments, products. Like if you have a recall on that Cybertruck like that, the risk is it's not going to work the way that it should as advertised. Not good for business. The marketing campaign was great, but if the recall is, I didn't know that, the highest in American history.
They put that thing in front of the White House, remember? Didn't work.
It's not going to happen for the Cybertruck.
No,
nope. Had it spark when it started.
Hello.
ASML has experienced approximately 23 down weeks over the past year. Is this a hiccup for the company, or did they hit their peak in 2024?
I don't think they've hit their peak. I just think that the global backdrop of what's going on, and there's so much, and I know you guys hate when we do this, but there's so much that we can't say that I want to say. But I think a lot of these companies are trying to figure out who's going to be in the number one position going forward for the next 50 years. And they're going to shift their business priorities to set countries or whatever version of BRICS that is created. I think ASML is a very good buy, definitely better than AMD for sure. If it got to 486.15, I'll probably load the boat there. I think that would be a generational buying opportunity. But I just think that the global backdrop and everything that we're going through worldwide has put a lot of pressure on them. So
Yeah, this is a measure of uncertainty when
for
you talk
sure.
about what they do, what place they stand in the supply chain of all semiconductors, specifically the ones that are created through UAVs, the ultraviolet lithography machines. And so if the demand of GPUs goes down, then the demand to create the machines that make those GPUs will go down,
Yeah.
and the manufacturing of those GPUs will go down. And the price point, we talked about pricing, but this is one of those things when you look at the sales, there was growth from year to year. I know they just reported last week with TSM, but if you look at what they did in 2023 compared to what they did in 2024, I think they moved in the last quarter, they moved 66 units, right?
Yeah.
That sounds like, all right, that's great. Well, how many did they do in 2024? Fourth quarter, they did 73. So there's an uptick. The problem is that they expected it to be more with the demand of AI and the demand of GPUs. The issue is the price point for these machines.
For
The
sure.
average cost, no joke, for one, the average cost for a EUV lithography machine is between 183 million to 380 million dollars. So you show me how many companies can afford to have one of those units.
Yeah.
Right? Can the TSM do it? Yeah. Right? Can they afford to use them for their machinery? Yeah. But there's not many. And so if we see uncertainty around semiconductors, how we're going to be using them, the output of it, we saw what DeepSeek did, and that's going to have an impact on an ASML. But they run a monopoly. Allegedly, I'm going to say this because I don't want. There's a lot of companies, Mag 7 companies that are going to court. Allegedly, they have a monopoly on the space because if they don't make the machines,
Yeah.
TSM can't manufacture them, which means that AMD will have nobody to manufacture it for it, to put it out. Broadcom as well, and all of them pretty much, if they're going to move to the lithography that ASML produces, which is where the future is headed in terms of how small you can, how much you can put on a GPU, which means that the nanometers have to be anywhere between 5 and lower, right?
Yeah.
There's talk that there might be 2, but then after that, you're going to quantum computing, and so not that I don't think it's their peak. The uncertainty around the space is what's caused them to have some of these negative weeks. But we'll see. We'll see over the next 2 to 3 years. I still love them. That's why I think they're necessary in the space.
Meanwhile, Huawei readies a new AI chip for mass
Yeah.
shipment as China seeks to fill the void caused by NVIDIA.
Yeah. So NVIDIA somehow
Somehow
Hopper ended up in China. We're not really sure how that happened. But there was a fine that had to be paid, and NVIDIA was hit with a $5 billion fee, which they said they would do. But the next day, after that was announced, CEO Jensen Huang was in Beijing. Coincidence? I think not.
Going back to my Amazon point, revenue by country, 13% in China, 16% in Taiwan, 14% in Singapore. So if one of our best companies is shipping the best product and we're only getting about 47% of said technology, if it was us, we'd be deported, allegedly. No, that's revenue by according to their report.
I'm saying shipping to that company.
Oh, shipping, yeah. It flew over there.
Yeah. It got there. And so their thing is that always been, if we can't sell you this product, whether it's, well, Hopper's got there, but if it's Blackwell or Blackwell Ultra or Rubin, if we can't, then let's figure out what product we can make specifically for you that we can sell to you, right? So because again,
that is crazy.
You said that, like, the administration may change in 4 years, it might be different, right? So you're already preparing products for the next 5-10 years. If we can create a product now, and when things may change, we'll have those ready to you, available. We'll see what happens. But business is global, and so I get why he goes, because he's looking at like nothing's going to stop us. We're going to create a product that they're going to be able to buy.
Movie Lords of War, I think with Nicolas Cage, about selling arms came to mind. Homework assignment. Go watch this weekend. Must be two sides.
That's a great parallel.
Very interesting times we're in. And all of the great new AI apps are not coming out of the Netherlands or South Africa. They're just popping up all through China while getting our tech. But what do I know? What do I know?
Okay. How far can Bitcoin fall during a recession?
Bitcoin won't fall ever. Shout out to my Bitcoin maxes. I'm a weaponize your audience. I am interested to see how it sustains, but I don't think. Well, it hasn't performed as well as it could have. But if we get to a recession, maybe high 40s, maybe like 47,000, something in that range. But I don't think. I know people wanted to fall back to 30,000 and 20,000. I don't think we'll ever get back to those levels, given the influence that the institutions have. And not if Michael Saylor can save the day. So I think high 40s, maybe 39 at the lowest. But I think during a recession, this will be bought a lot faster than that 22 drop for sure. So